Hello everyone. I'm going to cut to the important stuff first, and then we'll get on with the review. So obviously this is proper 12. It's Conor McGregor's whiskey. I didn't think it was available to buy in England. Turns out it is. I got this from a very reputable online website for £32 with shipping. £32 of my own money, which is why I'm going to go into a lot of detail about this. Irish whiskey, right? Last 20 years within whiskey, outside of, generic trends, the single biggest growing whiskey category in 2 decades. In the 70s, Ireland went from 2 main distilleries in Middleton and Bushmills to having what's going to be 40 in the next decade. Expanding, doing different things, experimenting, allowing fun to come back to Irish whiskey. Now, in no way am I saying that this thing is going to compete with the likes of Jameson's or standard Bushmills bottles or Teeling or Connemara, because it just doesn't have the depth and the character to do so. And this is going to seem like quite an intense, scathing review, but I feel quite passionately about this. Celebrity drinks in general don't work. I've tried them all. They don't work. That's not including the Game of Thrones bottlings, because that wasn't a particular celebrity, that was a TV show, which is still the biggest TV show of all time. And some of the whiskies in there were very good. Celebrity whiskies just don't work. Full stop. End. Right? Tried them all, not liked any of them. The fact that this thing is picking up such a fuss from just MMA fans, if you are a fan, or whatever it is Conor McGregor does, if you are a fan of him, totally fine, you'll buy it, you might not open it, you just have it because you're a fan. But for whiskey drinkers, I find it quite irritating. And it is a blemish for me on the state of Irish whiskey, which is a developing, growing, expanding area, which is finally coming good after being thrown through every sort of problem it could have from the 1920s till now. So this for me is quite an annoyance. The bottle, right? The bottle is just covered in the word smooth. I don't like that word. It's a byproduct for lack of, it's a word that just means like, there's no flavour in this, you just won't get alcohol burn. You actually do get alcohol burn, and I'm a seasoned whiskey drinker. I've drank super high strength things and found it easy. The smell of this thing, it has a slight crunchy bar smell to it, a bit of honeycomb, but after that it's just industrial raw grain alcohol. You give me a guess at this, it's 4 years old, maximum. They say it's aged for 3 years legally on the back, so they've kind of covered themselves. It's 40%, it's a wonderful, unnatural colour, and I think for someone who has so much money and has made such a big presence and point about how much money he's made and where he's come from, if you are a fan of his and you've bought this whiskey, how disappointed must you be? Because he could have brought out some really cool one-off single barrel to commemorate his wins and all this kind of thing. Instead, yeah, he's gone for mass market appeal, which is where all the money is. It's not a bad idea at all. It's the smartest idea, or the simplest idea, I should say. But it does make it interesting. His signature's on it. That's about it. A master blender has signed this, which is like the greatest thing on the planet, because I don't know any master blender which would be proud to put a name associated with this, because it's the most one-dimensional product I've ever come across in my entire life. And I'm not sure what more to say about it, but it is just a facade. It is a gimmick. This video will probably improve sales, I don't know, but just out there straight away, I'm not going to score this thing because it's not deserving of one. It is a trend. It is something that in 10 years time nobody will remember. And as we've seen as a result in the news recently, it makes you want to hit old men, which is just not a good thing to do in any way at all. Something that is intriguing to me, I'm not a fan of his sport, I don't watch it. It says smooth is fast on the front of it, and I can only imagine they're associating that with how long it's been in barrels, because they must have stuck it in some very small cask to give it any sort of flavour whatsoever. So smooth is fast? Nah, not in this case. It really isn't. If you're looking for approachable, easy drinking whiskey at an affordable price, there are other brands who do that. But yeah, let's taste it. Let's see what it's all about, eh? It has a slight smell, as I mentioned before, of honeycomb. In fact, in the glass for a bit, it smells a little bit like lemonade. You remember like flat lemonade you used to open in the fridge as a kid? You'd be like dehydrated at 3 o'clock in the morning, run downstairs, just crack it open. Really sugary, additive, preservative lemonade. And then there's that big industrial kick of grain whiskey. I like grain whiskey. Grain whiskey's fun. Scottish, Irish, American, obviously, Japanese. It's all really tasty. But this smells like when you, as a kid, and I don't know what kind of kid this makes me look like, when you used to be in science class and you put like your pen in the Bunsen burner and it'd melt and it'd twist and that smell of burnt plastic. Grain whiskey has that, especially when it's young. And this has it in bucket loads. You know, that additive, really syrupy, sugary note, and then there's just that really medicinal, industrial note beneath it, which isn't pleasant or complimentary in any single way. Taste-wise, pretty bad. Like, it's probably one of the most generic, uninteresting products you ever try. You don't even need to taste it to know what this thing's going to be like. It starts off sweet, and then the longer you keep it in the mouth, the more the grain whiskey comes through. It just starts to become this smooth, simple, uncharismatic, egotistical approach to someone who thinks they can get involved with whiskey just because they're from Ireland. I'm from Manchester. In no way does that mean I can join Manchester United or Manchester City. It's an associative thing, it's connotative, but it does not in any way mean you know what you're doing. Just because you said, me and a master blender helped do something. In no way. David Beckham helped blend Hay Club, another celebrity drink that was quite disappointing and needed vast areas for improvement. On the subject of Hay Club though, Hay Club is better than this. It is genuinely a bit more interesting, and at least there's a little bit of style and a little bit of charisma with what Hay Club is, and history too. I will actually taste it because it is a review, so. It has about as much depth as his personality. Yeah, you want like an overly expensive, and I do think it's overly expensive. 32, I think like 27 quid without shipping, right? Bottle of Johnny Red's like 18, maybe 20. Jameson's is what? Same, about 18 to 22 pounds in the UK anyway. Glenfiddich 12 you can get for some bargains. Glenmorangie, Buffalo Trace, Wild Turkey, Jack Daniels, Jim Beam. It sits in a price category where it's not required, it's not interesting enough to be more expensive or as expensive as it claims to be, and it is literally null and void. It has no point, it has no presence, it shouldn't be on your radar. I'm making this video to make you aware of how you should just stay away from this, and how you shouldn't fund one millionaire celebrity's need for more money by releasing something that is subpar and an embarrassment to the whiskey industry. So, never really done this before, but stay clear, don't go near it, it's not deserving of a score. And if you are interested in a sample, I can get you one, but that's advisory for you. I'm happy to ship within the UK if anyone does want to try it, but stay away, don't waste your money, don't fund it. Hopefully this video is a warning for you all. Think of me as the parental advisory sticker on albums that you don't think your kids should buy, but they buy anyway. Thank you for watching, I think. And yeah, I'll see you around. Cheers.